Hello, welcome to the third part of the video series on solving inequalities. In this part of the video series, we'll be looking at inequalities with two variables, so two variable inequalities. So before you can understand these, I feel I need to do a quick revision on equation of a line, because we'll be drawing lines on the Cartesian coordinates, the XY plane. So let's look at it. How do you draw a line on the Cartesian coordinate? So let's say you have this Cartesian coordinate, y. This will be positive x, negative y, and this is positive y. Now, let's say you want to draw a line y. Let's say you want to draw a line y equals 3, for example. So this line y equals 3 is a line that passes through y equals 3. So it's going to be a horizontal line. So you go to y equals 3 and you draw a horizontal line that passes through 3. So this line is y equals 3. So how do you draw for x? Let's say you have x equals -2. How do you draw this on the Cartesian coordinate? Then what you do basically is that you go to -2. So you go to -2 and you draw a line that passes through -2. So the only way you can draw a line that passes through -2 is to draw a vertical line that passes through it. So that is that. So this is basically one variable, y and x separately. But what if you have equation of a line that has both y and x? For example, you have y equals 2x plus 3. How do you draw this on the Cartesian coordinate? Or you have 2x plus 3y equals 1, something like that. So the first thing you will do is to think about the equation of a line, y equals mx plus c. So if you remember that, you should be able to figure out what the equation will be when you have the line. Let's say you have a line that is given by this on the Cartesian coordinate. Let's say this point is 4 and this point is 2, and you have to write the equation for this line. You just have the graph and you have the 2 points that the line passes through. So what can you do? Before you can write the equation of the line, you need to know the gradient. The m is the gradient and c is the y-intercept. Y-intercept is where the line cuts the y-axis, where it passes through y-axis. In this case, it's 4. So how do you write that? Now, clearly, we can get the y-intercept. So the y-intercept here is 4. So it means that I can write the equation of this line as y equals mx plus 4. I know c, I've replaced c, but I don't know m. I need to know m and c for me to be able to fully define the equation of the line. So how do I get m? It's easy because I know 2 points basically. This point is 0, 4, that's at x is 0, y is 4, and this point is 2, 0, because on the x-axis, y is 0. So this coordinate is 2, 0. Then I can substitute this coordinate into this equation to get what my m will be. That's one approach. So I can do that. So if I do that, I will have, I will replace y with 0, and I will replace x with 2, because it's an ordered pair. X always comes before y. So x is 2, y is 0. So if I put 0 here for y, and I put 2 for x, that means I will have 2m plus 4. Then from here, I can get the value of m. 2m will be -4. If you move 4 to the other side, it becomes -4. Then divide this by 2. Then m will be -2. So m is -2. So I can write the equation of the line as y equals, I will just replace m with -2 here. So it will be -2x plus 4. So if I want, I can move everything to the other side. I can write it as y plus 2x equals 4, anyhow you want it. So this is the equation of the line. You can see that looking at the graph, we can write the equation. That is one way. Another way you can write it is to first calculate the gradient of this line. So I'm trying to manage the space. So I will calculate the gradient of this line because I know 2 points that the line passes through. If you know remember the equation for gradient, m equals change in y by change in x, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So m will be, so if I call this my point 2 and I call this my point 1, it means that y2 will be 4 minus y1 will be 0 divided by x2 will be 0 and x1 will be 2. So it means that m will be 4 over minus 2, and that will be minus 2 divided. I know the gradient now, so I can write the equation using y equals mx plus c. I know m and I know c. It's very clear because I know c from here. That is where the line passes through the y-axis. So y will be, m is minus 2x plus c. C is 4 because that's the y-intercept. You can see whichever approach, you will get the same thing. Okay, so that's a quick revision on equation of a line. So once you know how to do that, how to write the equation, then we can dive into inequalities. Now, let's have a quick examples on simple inequalities. So let's look at these examples. Now, to write down the inequalities which describe the shaded region in the following. So I'll give you some graphs, then you tell me, we'll write the equation for the we'll write the inequality that describe it. So you have a graph like this, and you have this line. This is y equals 3, and you have this part shaded. This is one. Then the second one is this. You have this line, x equals 4, and you have this part shaded. So here, in this case, the shaded region is the solution. The shaded part represents the solution. Now, how do we write the inequality? Now, we know the equation of the line. So y equals 3. But we want to write the inequality. So these parts, that the parts that are above the line, they are the parts that represent the solution. So which means the inequality will be y greater than 3, which means all values that are greater than 3 will be the solution, which means if you go upwards, you are going to meet values that are greater than 3. So that is the inequality. Then for this, the solution are these numbers here in this region. So if I go towards the left, I'm going to meet numbers that are less than 4. That is minus 3, 3, 4, 2, 1, 0, minus 1, and so on. So this will be x less than 4. It's as simple as that. But let's look at the one with 2 variables. Let's say we have this line. So there's one thing that is missing here, because you have a continuous line. It has to be less than or equal to. So take note of that. If the line is continuous, it's going to be, it will include equals, but if it is broken, then there is no equals. Either greater than or less than, provided it is broken, there will be no equals. But if it is continuous, if it's not broken, there will be equals, okay? Then let's look at the one with 2 variables. We have a line like this, with the Cartesian coordinate. Then we have that. So, and you know the equation of the line. This is easy because we're given the equation of the line, x plus 3. Then this part is shaded, okay? Now, below the line is shaded. How do you write the inequality for this? Now, for this line, you will see that the solution are the numbers that are below the line. So that means if you look at, if you go downwards, you will meet the solution. Now, if you are looking at y, when you go along this y-axis, if you come downwards, you will meet numbers that are less than whatever value that you calculate for y. But if you go upwards, you will meet numbers that are greater than whatever value you calculate for y. So which means when you substitute a value for x, for example, then whatever you calculate, then the solution has to be less than that. So the trick is, if your solution is below, that means you are going downwards, then it has to be less than. But if your solution is above, then it has to be greater. So for this, it's going to be y less than x plus 3. So that's the inequality that represents that graph. So let's look at another one for, now, sorry, the line is continuous, there must be equals. Let's forget that. Let's look at one more for this. This is broken line, and the equation of the line, and this part is shaded, and the equation of the line is y equals 2 minus 2x. So how do we write the inequality? Now, because the part that is shaded is above, that means if you go that way, you meet numbers that are greater than, for every value of x that you choose here, the value of y that you will calculate will be greater. Because, for example, if I pick a value here, the y value will be somewhere here. So the y value will be somewhere. So it's greater, it's above the line. So the inequality will be y greater than 2 minus 2x. So there will be no equal because the line is not continuous, it's broken. Good? So that's that. We stop there in this part, then we continue in the next part of the video. Bye-bye.